Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land that we stand upon. I am honoured to be here. I thank you, Thomas, Dean Parkin, for this invite. My name is Vicki Morta, standing proudly before you as an Aboriginal and South Sea Islander descendant, always proud as a Nunginji woman from the Atherton tablelands. I was born in Atherton and raised in Innisfail. I work as an integrated rating on board the Atrium Weipa, a huge bulk carrier managed by ASP Ship Management Group Australia and owned by Rio Tinto Marine. I have responsibilities on board, duties such as opening and closing hatches, mooring operations during arrival and departure in and out of port, as well as watchkeeping on the bridge with the officers of the watch. I am also filling in as operational caterer, which means I get to work in the galley with the cook. We currently trade between Gladstone, Weipa and Gove, carrying bauxite. It's been 11 years loving every day on board and makes me proud to do something I love for my family, my people and my union. This journey began in 2008, where I completed my traineeship in Tasmania. 3 years later, I was made a permanent employee. Not long after that, because of my perseverance, in 2017, I became Maritime Union of Australia's first female Indigenous bosun, Chief IR. And I have never stopped dreaming. And with the support from my family, work colleagues and my union, I soon to become a deck officer. This will make me the first female Indigenous deck officer. Through all of this, I remain the Nunginji woman standing before you. It is important that every community has a voice that needs to be heard. I say this because our communities need someone to hear and address the issues in Australia. Our First Nations people have struggled for many years dealing with the impacts of health problems, the education system, land rights, and the rights to having a voice enshrined in the Constitution. We want to control our communities. We want to deal with our children and issues our way. This is why the people in our communities want their voices to be heard. Today, our communities have to deal with problems like drug and alcohol abuse. Our suicidal rates have increased because we struggle to control our own youth within our own communities. There are events like sports carnivals, NAIDOC Week, where these are only once every so often that are organised outside our communities. These events are finished, the community then goes back to normal and the youth are stuck doing what they did before. Our community people know a one-off approach does not work. We need to follow up. We need someone to guide them in the right direction and encourage them. Having a strong voice that is protected by the Constitution means we could change these programs so they work better for our youth. Our First Nations youth are our next generation. This is why, once again, our voice needs to be heard. We have too much to lose. If it doesn't happen now, we can't afford to be told to wait for another few more generations. Our youth need our people, our elders, our culture. With this knowledge and education, our children, our culture, our youth will have a chance at real success. I speak from the heart because I know and I've seen what's happening around me. And it hurts to see my people continue on going down this cycle. This is why I stand before you knowing these problems exist, because I have seen it firsthand. Personally, I have family members and friends with problems like mental health, drug and alcohol use, youth in detentions, and suicides. In the past few months, I have experienced and watched families suffer, including myself, over depression, those family members have taken their lives and have left a loss in people's hearts. These family members were young, and seeing their loved ones still in grief, I believe they could have been better people in pursuing their dreams and making their people proud. We can change the way our children should be educated. We can change the justice system and teach our children our way. We can work together. Whereas Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders, we can help make change to better the future for our children and our children's children. Why should it be so hard to be heard? Why must our children keep suffering? When can we stand together and make history for this vast nation? This is why, having our voice enshrined, we can deal with all of these issues and focus on our people on our land. With much gratitude and appreciation, this to me at first was not to make a big statement or a projection of my achievements or my voice to be heard, but later on perhaps this would be an encouragement to the young Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, especially my nieces and nephews. If I can achieve this, so can you. Dedication and focus, no matter what personal issues one may face, it is one's own journey that steps one towards destination, fulfillment and pride in oneself. Sailing around the Australian coast and overseas gave me a local and global experience where the horizon has no limits for me, as I strive to improve everyday challenges that come my way. Last year, all mankind was challenged by COVID-19, a year of uncertainty. I took the given opportunity to speak at the Maritime Union of Australia's National Conference. And in December, I was awarded the prestigious award from the Queensland Council of Unions, an award dedicated to an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander activist who has made an outstanding contribution to the union over the past 12 months. This short passage to all my young aspirers is achievable with the right attitude and constant positivity on oneself. And I also know that we must empower our people's voices so they can make a positive changes in their communities over the long term. This is why I will continue on having determination for a voice enshrined in the Constitution. I seek my voice to be heard and my name to be known. This is important not only to me, but to my First Nations people of this country. So I now ask for you to walk with us in this movement and stand by us to better our future for the First Nations people of Australia. Thank you for your time. I hope I have made a difference.